I'm good. Too early for that. What are you on a diet? No, no diet. Just when you want some meat? Good morning. Hey there. How are you, sir? Good. How are you? Good. Mike, you want meat?
What?
You want meat?
No.
You want grapes?
No. I want nothing.
Fine.
Hello.
Come here. We gotta go hang out here. Have a what? We do. See what she's off. Oh, the brunchy brunch.
This is a 5-second NATVO. And I'm assignment manager Mark Liu here at the desk. A high-speed pursuit ends with a crash, and the CHP says they took 5 people into custody. Some of them were juveniles. Take a look. All right, that was the beginning of this pursuit very early this morning in the Baldwin Park area. This was the westbound 10 at Garvey. CHP said they were chasing that dark-colored sedan there. Their original want was speed. There were at least 5 people in that small car, and it ended in a crash all the way here in Westlake Village. This is near the intersection of Lindero Canyon and Triunfo Canyon. It's a wilderness area to the south of this intersection here, and that car just went right up the side of the hill. Now, CHP officers said they detained 5 people at the end of this crash. Some of them, they said, were under the age of 18. They were classified as juveniles, but it's unclear which of those people detained was the driver. That person is certainly going to go into handcuffs, facing multiple felony charges, including speeding, reckless driving, and felony evading. This is another person that was detained here at the scene being checked for any sort of injuries, and a third person there on the sidewalk being talked to by CHP officers. It's unclear of the 5 how many were actually arrested, because passengers may not be charged in pursuits, but CHP is conducting an investigation into this pursuit and how it crashed at the end. That's it here from the desk. I'll send it back to you. Okay, so this is the desk. Okay. This was in February.
Good morning. So there is this talk of the chemicals that are going to be transferred, that they are neutralized, and that we are seeing the emergency is officially over. But listen,
God.
there's concern with neighbors who live nearby.
Yeah, this is really bad, dude.
Worried about what is happening here. We're hosting a Coffee with CBS LA event nearby, and that is where our Michelle Julie just spoke with Orange County Supervisor Janet Nguyen about the
It is exceptionally bad. I'm telling you, this is exceptional.
Of the chemical, because it won't be happening if we don't release it tomorrow. When will it happen? And do you have concerns about that?
I do, because I want to make sure that we get these chemicals removed out of our neighborhood, and removed safely. But we also need to make sure that it's done safely and disposed safely. And so our goal on the council is monitoring those situations and making sure that this moves as fast as it can. There's also the problematic team that they're trying to figure out how to remove it because it's not solicited.
What did you say?
Since last month's emergency, there has been a major lack of trust among the people who live nearby and what health safety and GKN aerospace officials are saying. GKN is the facility that made national headlines after after the storage tank became a
Hello, everyone.
threat of explosion. This forced those tens of thousands of people living nearby to evacuate for several days. Well, the plans for today and tomorrow were for cleanup crews to transfer 17,000
Is this
gallons
anything
of neutralized
closer?
chemical for disposal. As we understand it now, on hold you just heard. This morning I met a Stanton homeowner at our Coffee with CBSLA event. She says even with reassurances, she is still concerned.
The last couple of days really hot, like something like compressed freezing on around the and we don't want the air outside. It's very hot. So I think we're making the whole family.
And just yesterday, GKN announced a new community initiative where it is donating $3 million to the OC Communities Resiliency Fund. That is to be distributed through the United Way, and the idea is to have this funding go towards families impacted by the evacuations. The details of that, though, are still being worked out. And because this is such a big ongoing situation, that is why we're hosting Coffee with CBSLA this morning. So we want to go over to Moonville Coffee Roasters, where Rachel Kidd is standing by with what a lot of neighbors are saying. Rachel, I was just there with you this morning. There is big concern still.
Absolutely. Good morning, Rick. Yeah, you were here. You listened to all the people share their stories, their concerns. One of those people is Susan Barber here in Garden Grove. A Garden Grove resident for 14 years. She's had their business for 7. Susan actually owns 2 barbershops. Your group owns 2 barbershops, and your group has shut down both shops for 5 days.
This is not the first.
Tell me about the impact this has had on you guys financially.
Financially, it kind of put on us less opportunity to do yesterday. And after that, it's like shop is things like this closed, it's a face over for us. But it was tough for us.
Shoot.
The first couple of days, but slowly, people are back to work. Slowly.
And so are you have employees who also need to think about too, not only your own.
Yeah, right. So our co-workers and our customer, they just shop too. Because some of them would like to call them out. They still in hotel, but that's how much cost for them. Some of the street hotels.
Oh, dashboard. That's it. This it? This is it. Oh, sorry.
The resources we like to pass down to us. Our media and social media for us for business growth. It's very helpful because a lot of us are working about to have less cost efficiency. And so we're not saying that we just can't go to pay the staff on that. So the more we work, the more on the news and media like that, it's great for us. For the Garden Grove business.
Earlier on the show, Julie introduced you.
Why?
Supervisor Janet wrote about, what they're working on from the county side to get
Is
these
it?
business owners, these contractors, the
What is the login?
so they can recoup and get back to business faster.
Right. Exactly. That's what a lot of our customers, I think, we as a barber are ready to able to tell us. We just not just a barber. We do our service to our community. We trust the process. So everyone's calm and all the money and resources. Like we know what to pass it out to these customers. Because we have those service partners.
Susan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We're so sorry.
Trust the process. Thank you. I'm just amazed how
All right. Whatever.
We'll be okay. Stephen, thank you so much. Yeah, I think Stephen made a good point. This community is amazing. Everyone we spoke to this morning, so supportive of each other. The businesses, the residents, everybody wants to help each other and help get through this thing with one another's help. So very encouraging to see. And the conversations have been very fruitful. A lot of people here are listening to their concerns. We, of course, listen to their concerns. And we're going to do our very best to get them answers, the answers that they're looking for. So with that, we're going to wrap up our Coffee with CBSLA event for today. Amy and Chris, back to you. be within 5 minutes of the noise and the sound of a regular school gym.
Silver Lake. The Army said. City. You need to train. You need to train. City. You need to train. City overseas. There is no. They also validating their.
The negotiation itself has gone very well, actually. Very well. It could happen, and you said it might not happen, who knows?
I think a lot of his decisions are not popular, and as November approaches, you'll see more bifurcation between the White House and the House of Representatives among Republicans.
Oh, okay.
Biggest concern of obviously the unknowns. Are we going to have a violent attack or drone attack or something along those lines? But what I can say is we plan for all those things.
Also, Hmm. Pasadena. Hmm. Hmm. Should call Len Banch. Was it Len Banchez? Yeah, yeah, I did.
These are the Sato Japanese knives. It is a set of 8. Now, these are a high-carbon steel, which means they're stronger.
I also got it.
Because they're strong, they got a thinner grain with a
Okay, I also.
15-degree angle and what they call full tang construction. So the metal actually goes all the way from the tippy tip to the end of the handle. So it's all one piece. So you never. Okay, tell me about that. So here's the thing.
Slide like butter.
Slide, right. And now if you're whether you're boning, you're slicing, you're dicing, all of these knives, they're so versatile. And these are the knives
Okay.
that last for a long time. They're a phenomenal investment.
Okay, well then.
Now, when's the last time you updated your knives?
It's been a while.
Okay, and you think about people getting married. These make keepers love the gift. Look at how they present. These are the knives that chefs choose, that people who cook a lot at home, like you and I, choose. And if you want to talk about like cutting down your prep time,
Okay. An earthquake today. Rolling solid. There's an earthquake today? There was no earthquake today. Was there an earthquake today? There was no earthquake today. No. Huh? There's no earthquake. There's no earthquake. Okay. You just can't. Don't try. Don't try and join the NBK. Although this one I like, although this video I don't like, although I feel like this video is Oh, very similar operation. Once you get that back, and weed spoken, I hear that there's weed spoken to the army. Because this is in essence the absolute best way to train for an operation overseas that may take place in an urban environment. There's only so much that you can artificially build, say, in a remote location. You can't build out an entire urban environment. You just, there is no substitute. They're also not just, they're also pretty good equipment.
There's good news and bad news on the state of retirement. Americans are saving more, but anxious about their ability to put away enough for the future. In its annual survey, the Employee Benefit Research Institute found that workers' confidence in having enough money to live comfortably in retirement fell for those who are still working, and also for retirees. While both groups are stressed about inflation, retirees are also worried about potential policy changes to Medicare and Social Security. But here's the good news. Despite those feelings, people are actually saving more for retirement. A new report from Fidelity shows both 401k and 403b total savings rates hit record levels in the first quarter, and IRA contributions surged 29% year over year. The total savings rate, that's your contributions plus an employer's match, reached 14.4%, just shy of the recommended 15% target. So is this another case of feeling bad but doing well? Maybe for some, but there are warning signs. The share of workers with an outstanding 401k loan climbed to 19.2%. 2.5% of participants are making hardship withdrawals. Those numbers are not worrisome yet, but indicate some people are in financial distress. As a reminder, tapping retirement assets should be a last resort. In New York, I'm Jill Sloan.
never says what they're actually did deploy units. Hello, who is that? Oh, hi, Sadie. That doesn't make any sense, okay? There was a very small... Perf. Be better. There's that you could. Is playing. But I am she does.
People in this neighborhood have been asking us what was going on. The city says they did try to alert people when the training got underway, but they say they had no part in coordinating this drill.
Just a VO, yeah.
Military operation. Many people say it felt like a war zone when helicopters started flying low over the old St. Luke Hospital in Northeast Pasadena, dropping soldiers onto the roof. There was also simulated gunfire and explosions. The training started late last night and went on until about 2 this morning. And although the hospital has been abandoned, it is in a residential neighborhood, so these loud noises were really disruptive, and they came as a shock to many people, including city council members who say the police were asked to help with traffic control, but they weren't even told where the training would be taking place until yesterday.
Seen a lot of confusion and a lot of people that are pretty scared. Just
Stop some.
all of a sudden it sounds like Iran is taking over or something.
Went on for an extended period of time, and it really freaked out the neighbors.
That council member says their non-emergency line was flooded with calls yesterday from people who really were confused about what was going on. And he says it's especially traumatic because this area is right where the Eaton fire burned a year ago. Many people have just recently returned to their neighborhood, so he said it was especially hard for them to have this happen here. We've reached out to the U.S. Army but have not heard back yet. In Pasadena, Tina Patel, CBS LA.
And I'm Assignment Manager Mark Liu here at the desk. Now, this is not the first time that the U.S. Army has conducted these real massive training drills in Southern California. Here at the desk, we went back in our archives and found out that they did it almost exactly the same way 7 years ago in 3 different communities in Southern California. This is video from February of 2019 of a very similar exercise situation that the U.S. Army conducted in the first week of February. This took place in Silver Lake and in downtown L.A. and in Long Beach. Now, we have since talked to the Army about this 7 years ago when we did that story. The Army said they do these trainings in locations, these urban environments, because they provide unique opportunities to simulate real urban action that service members may encounter if they deploy overseas. Essentially what they say is there's only so much that you could do in a remote location like the desert or in the mountains. If you need to train in an urban environment, you can't just build one in a remote location. The very best way to give service members the practical training exercise they need is simply to train in a big city. And in Los Angeles, there are so many different kinds of buildings and structures that might mimic where these U.S. Army personnel might be deployed overseas, that they just do the operation in an urban environment like we see here. Now, it's very similar. You can see U.S. service members getting off of helicopters and entering buildings. They say that there's no substitute for this realistic training. That's why they do it. They try to do it at night, and they try to give communities warning of when this is going to happen. And in 2019, the Army never actually said what their service members were training for, but we do know that there was an operation called Operation Inherent Resolve near the middle part of 2019 that did involve some heavy urban environment action. That was in Iraq and in Syria to combat ISIS. That's it here from the desk. I'll send it back to you. Okay. What am I doing at 11? What did we decide? We decided death investigation. Okay.
Nearly a year and a half after the Eaton fire, someone who truly understands its catastrophic toll can you check on Altadena. This was just completed here.
I love seeing all the sticks in the air.
Steve Crowder is the mayor of Paradise, California. Back in 2018, nearly 500 miles north of here, the deadly campfire ravaged his community.
We lost 95%
Jeez.
of our town. There were 13,000 homes lost.
Victoria Knapp was Altadena's town council
Oh,
chair.
no.
Devastated Altadena. That tells the story, right? The two small town leaders began a friendship the night of January 7th. Crowder saw televised images of Altadena burning.
I went, wow, that's paradise. I mean, the winds and the weather conditions and the devastation. I decided I had to reach out and call Victoria.
We are going to see a number of these two-story properties that were likely not two-story before. Knapp finished her town council term, but remains on the front lines of recovery efforts. She visited Crowder in Paradise and has gotten guidance from him on everything from debris removal to securing funding.
FEMA, for instance, their responses have always been to floods and tornadoes and hurricanes. They really didn't respond to fires. Well, our mega fire, they had to.
Well, here for his second fire, Crowder toured the Collaboratory, a resource hub for survivors. This is where everyone died, was, and then these are the houses that are complete in blue. Everything in red is completely destroyed.
Wow. We're probably 42%.
Dude, this is awful.
rebuilt.
Bummer.
Paradise's numbers 8 years later are sobering. Knapp says in Altadena, about 1,500 of the more than 6,000 properties destroyed have started construction, with about 60 now complete. She estimates this town's rebuild will take at least 5 years, with big challenges still ahead, like lots stuck in limbo and growing weeds.
This became such a community hub.
Crowder says Paradise's focus on rebuilding better public schools is fueling a shift in demographics.
It is definitely a younger community.
Part of the reason for his second trip here since the fire was to speak at a library event.
The one thing that we can offer is hope. Hope that, yes, you can come back.
Knapp ended her personal tour at her home under construction. Crowder also rebuilt in Paradise. Both leaders miss what was, but are pushing their communities towards what will be.
Interesting.
We will eventually be
Okay.
home. And I think that part of this process is acclimating to that.
If we can help another community, that's something that good that came out of our fire, and we will need that.
Tara Finstrom, CBS, LA.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I can't read IGN. Okay.
She flies, she flips, an award-winning cheerleader. But in early October, 16-year-old Michaela Guerrero lost her spark.
I just felt numb.
Days earlier, the Saugus High sophomore was practicing a new stunt with her team. Then a misstep, a collapse, and
I got whacked in the face,
her head dropped back.
and then I fell on the ground.
It was Michaela's first year as a varsity cheerleader.
So I would really want to do everything.
At first, she ignored the headache and continued to cheer. 2 days later,
She couldn't even be within 5 minutes of the noise and the sound of a regular school gym.
the sound and light sensitivity was overwhelming.
Up and down.
Children's Hospital LA's Dr. Jonathan Santana determined Michaela had suffered a concussion.
So concussion is a mild traumatic brain injury. Headaches tend to be the most common symptom, but you can get the light and noise sensitivities, cognitive issues, go back and forth with your eyes, eye tracking issues.
She was having a hard time reading.
Things get blurry or they get double.
Michaela's concussion was compounded by whiplash when her head jerked back.
My neck muscles and my vertebrae C1 to 3, I believe, was affected.
Dr. Santana prescribed physical therapy and modified rest.
So sad.
We don't want them to go to sports right away, especially if they're symptomatic.
On the other hand,
We don't want them to be in a dark room with no sound. That actually hinders their recovery.
for Michaela, being separated from her sport was emotionally devastating.
It was just so hard.
When you take someone away from what they enjoy doing, that takes a part of them away.
This was her passion. It's what was keeping her sane. As a teenager, I had to rest, but I didn't want to rest.
After 8 weeks of physical therapy, Michaela's headaches went away and her vision returned to normal.
I thought, okay, maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
2 weeks later, Dr. Santana gave the all clear. Michaela rejoined her team in December.
I was really scared to flip and do all of those tricks and things, but I love doing it.
Lesson learned. Even though concussions can be terrifying at first, with rest and rehab,
They do get better and they tend to go back to their activities or sports.
you can help support the CHLA concussion program and so many others. Join CBS LA Cares About Kids at Walk and Play LA this Saturday, 8 a.m. at the Santa Monica Pier. I'll be there hosting and I'd love to see you. Sign up at walkandplayla.org and use code CBS10 to save $10.
I'm Jill Pedro Lopez at the U.S. Women's Open, and we are going to be going through into the USGA experiment. And that means we're going to be asking AI rules questions. I'm going to get that putter out so you can check out my putting stroke and more. Stay with us.
Searching. Oh, Riverside vegetation fire. That's not good. Oh. Oh. Do you remember what the log is? So, hello, it's Mark Liu. So I got a new PC out here on the desk. And one of the things that was not saved was the login for dashboard for the text to desk. Do you remember what that one is? It's a community one. Yeah. Do we have individual ones? No way. Really? Yeah, see if it is. If not, then if I did, then I thought it was a community one. If not, then I'll reach out to the administrator myself. So, okay, thanks. Okay, bye. Is it this? Huh. Hello. Okay. All right. Then I've got to figure it out then. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye bye. What is going on? What? Oh, never mind. This is it. Oh my God. Okay. Reasons. Oh my God.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much. Well, the players are on the course right now, but fans also have a chance to get out to this USTA experience. And Tom Padula, the managing director of GIN, is here with me now. I know you've got so much cool stuff here. We'll get to some putting in a minute, but you don't have to carry around a rule book anymore, right? You can just ask the rules official right here.
That's right. In collaboration with Deloitte, USGA has developed our all-new rules AI technology here, so fans can actually ask a rules question to Jay, get an answer right away, and that'll be coming into their pockets into the gym app this summer, so you'll be able to ask them around the course and get a rules answer right away.
That's so cool. We've already seen
Hello.
the rules official. We're going to walk over here.
How are you?
GIN putting experience. I'm going to give you the mic and you can explain to me.
Well, I've got.
As I putt, hopefully get in the hole. And
I'm not here tomorrow, so it is my Friday.
Yeah, this is the gym putting experience presented
I'm very.
We're promoting an all-new
What's that?
that's coming later this summer, so golfers can be excited about that. We're letting fans actually grab a putter, take a couple putts on our practice screen here,
Nope.
see if they can sink it.
It's been a combination of things, but the primary one is that literally, from what I understand, every single person that has ever sat with me for any longer than 4 hours has been like, "Oh, I'm good. That's yeah, that's fine. That's fine." So sometimes the person that sits here that says like, "No, I'm good," is me. I'm sometimes the guy who says, "No, I'm good. I don't want to do this." No, I'm just joking. It's just a lot to get your arms around, you know. And I think, to be fair, presenting it to someone like in its totality is just too overwhelming. You know, and when someone thinks like I have to do all of this, like there's no way. Right. Right. I think the best way to do it is, like I've said, is to have a human being sit here and just live with me, and then they grow into it, right? They start with just small bits of assistance, and then they grow into it. Otherwise, like you try and slam someone into this job.
this weekend with the U.S. Women's Open. All right, Chris, we're going to send it back up to you. I'm going to go back to working on my putting.
On air to do what you're doing, or somebody off air to like.
I think it needs to be an on-air person. I think that that's a much more harder and anxiety-driven thing to overcome, and requires.
Because somebody can help them.
Right.
You know, somebody on the desk can actually.
Right.
I think Jasmine would be great at it.
I think Jasmine would be great at it. I think who was I thinking about that could have been really good at it too? Uh, I mean, like Jeff Nguyen maybe would. Well, he's already our investigative reporter, so he doesn't. He's worked his whole life to do that. But yeah, Jazz would be really good at it. I don't know. We'll see.
You just have to like be able to multitask so many things.
Right.
And if you're tired, forget about it.
You know, we should also look at some of like our MMJs. You know, like because there's that part of it also is like you don't need to know how to edit a package or do like an investigative piece or do like fancy. You just need to know how to edit VOs very quickly, right? And pick a soundbite very quickly. And I think that our MMJs are good at that, like Rena, you know, people like her, or that's kind of what I feel like the skill set is about, you know, a little bit, because being a field reporter is the skill set that you developed is almost too much for this. Like there'll be things that you don't need as a field reporter to do this job. So, so yeah, I don't know. Huh? Joy, yeah, maybe Joy, yeah. Yep. Does it feel like the skills are almost too much? There may be like. Mm-hmm.
Because it really is, when you guys are off, it really is this.
You know, I've heard that. I'm flattered when people say that, but it's interesting how much we have sort of created the show in certain parts. I mean, like if you know, the show is still the show. I mean, there's still a perfectly good news show, but it feels good to know that like the desk is like a part of the culture now, which is good. I hope that one day that translates into, you know, true viewership returns that we can all like, you know, be proud of, but we'll see. Well, I will say it is the coolest job I've ever done, and working with you is like the most fun I've ever had. So, I mean, you and I were the OGs in the beginning. I felt like more pioneering stuff happened when you and I were in the studio on the desk than any other show. Just the way the 10 and the 11 worked, the 10 o'clock worked, you know.
But the noon, I think, more than.
And the noon too, right? Yeah, the noon.
Yeah, I just feel like, and then, and beyond, you know, noon into 1 and 2, you know, it
Yeah.
make for a long day for you, but,
Just doing breaking news with you, I felt like you were an incredible partner in allowing the breaking news to be like anything we wanted to do together with it. You know what I mean? With Pursuits, like expanding it to be all about like the transparency and the process and what we've got and what we're doing. And I felt very comfortable pushing myself to the limit with you. Like you were like almost like a safety net. I knew you would never let me fall. Like if things were.
I think it's a fine line, and I had to figure out what it was because it's, and I think what other anchors have to realize is like, I'm just here to support you. So I'm watching you talking, and it's time for you to talk, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a chance to get the information that you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm paying attention so that I can add.
Right.
If you know, because you can't catch everything, so if I see something, I'm gonna add it, but I'm always just like, is he ready? Okay, back to you. You know, and then, okay.
But I was learning how to do that at the same time. And so there was a huge amount of anxiety. Like I'm in uncharted territory personally for myself, but just whenever I did it with you, when we did breaking news together, I was like, I am going to be okay. Right. Like no matter what, if I stumble, like Amy will catch me. You know what I mean? I don't know what instinct you had or what, but it was like, because I did, and there were a couple of times, I don't know if you know, but I did, and like you caught me. You know, you were like, brought everything back to which is the job of the anchor, right? You bring it back to center to where and so you do it very naturally and also transparently. Like I never felt like I was like, oh geez, like I'm in so much trouble. Like Amy's carrying this whole thing for me, and I know I'm like letting her down. You know, you never made me ever feel like that, even though I was probably letting you down at some point. So, you know.
I just never
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my goal is never to break the news. It's to set you up to break
Yeah.
the news, to pass it on to you. What do you have? What do you have? And then we talk so he can find some more information. And then it's like, you got, yeah. Like, I hate when this is in the.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. I know.
Because I can see your body language.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he's right. He's right.
Whatever it was, I guess that's what they call chemistry, right? It's like it just worked. It's so. That's true. That's true. Oh, I forgot to do this. That's true.
I think it's a great idea. I think a badger would look great on a bad note. Maybe a little squirrel.
What? Ugh, what in the heck? Are you kidding me?